Hey, good day. Welcome to another episode of Raw Report. I'm your host, Robert Bob TV Brown. How you doing today? I'm going to talk about a subject today that I think is very crucial. And this subject is a subject that is kind of touchy for a lot of people for some of the silliest reasons. I'm going to talk about this man right here, Ice Cube. Let me see if I can pull him up. I know I've been talking about him a lot, but some of the things that Ice Cube has been promoting is very proficient today. First, let's take a look at who Ice Cube is according to Wikipedia. Ice Cube occupation is rapper, actor, producer, director, and writer. He's been married to the same woman, Kimberly Woodruff, since 1992. He has 4 incredible children, one who's also an actor, look just like his freaking daddy, O'Shea Jackson Jr., who also himself has grown to be a proficient artist, rapper, actor, and I'm quite sure he'll be film producing too. His accolades are already getting up there. Janky Promoters, Straight Outta Compton. He played his dad in Straight Outta Compton. Ingrid Go West, Den of Thieves, good movie. Long Shot, Godzilla, King of Monsters. He played a chief warrant officer. Just Mercy, with what's his name? Michael B. Jordan. Television. So he has a record himself. But let's go back to his dad. Original group CIA, NWA. He went solo, put out a bunch of albums. Hooked up with West Side Connection. You know, so dude is very proficient. Has a very stellar musical career. As you can see. Film production a mile long. you know, discography, mile long. His movies, a mile long. Cube done been in a lot of movies. A lot of movies, television shows, you name it. Cube, let's go to his network. You're talking about a man who's worth $160 million. $160 million. You're talking about a brother, a man, a black man, a ADOS black man, worth $160 million. Movie producer, hip-hop artist. Founded one of the most predominant hip-hop groups ever. Helped build the label. Used his intellect to find out that that label was screwing him, which a lot of people don't do. Decided to leave that label, start his own record label. Got massive success, put out a lot of artists, you know, West Side Connection, the whole 9 yard, Mac 10, the whole 9 yard. Went on to produce movies. Not only did he play the movie, but he produced slam movies. Friday After Next, you name it. I can go on and on and on. Produced and starred various charities. Various monies put back into the black community, especially in South Central LA and in Compton. Figured black people need to start their own basketball league and started his own basketball league. You're talking about a man who just not only, you know, you can't, the purpose of me saying this, you can't discount somebody based on just their past. You got to see where they have made strides to correct the past if they did anything wrong. And you definitely can't judge a person by their color. You can't judge a person by their looks, but you can judge them by their action. Now we're going to talk about this today. It's 3:59, Saturday. I got to go somewhere, but I'm going to make sure I'm going to stop here and spend some time with you before I go, because we really need to get in the subject. I was told recently that Ice Cube went on a View with something Queens, a Fox News show. Now, Fox News usually lean conservative. The Fox network in general lean conservative. So Ice Cube was a guest with this panel of women. People said, Rob, why are you very particular about getting in a relationship with a woman? And Rob, you've been married twice. Why do you want to get married again? Oh, I'm going to get married again. And there's a particular thing that I look for in a woman. It's not just body, good looks, and all that, money and all that stuff. Something way past that. And it's hard to find it in today's black woman. Just like there's certain attributes that's hard to find in today's black men for a woman. I believe the woman is the pillar of civilization. I believe that we wouldn't have this world without women, because you can't be born without a woman and a man. So I think both of them should be working together to get things done instead of letting somebody come in and bring a division between the two. No preaching, no politics, nothing should be breaking up the male and female relationship, or what they call the traditional family structure. Now, I understand we got a new way of thinking, a new way of family and all that, but that's another topic. I'm just going to strictly deal with foundational family building structure and how it affects us when it comes to looking at people a certain way. See, when you grow up around people who always talk about how no good your daddy are, you would tend to think that not only is your daddy no good, but in general, men is no good if you have a parent that tell you about men and dog you out about men. Or if you personally experience or have better relationship with men, you're going to tend to tell other girls about how bad men are. You're going to have the tendency to think the wrong thought because of an experience you had with a few men like 50 Cent, Vivica Fox. And you're hurt. You're better. That's why on my other channel I talk about love, because these things will shape who you are going forward if you don't know how to handle these situations. That's why I talk about Kamala Harris and why is it Miss Harris don't talk about her dad? I know exactly why Miss Harris don't talk about her dad, and the reason why she kind of looked down on black men in general, and you can look at her history and it'll show you that she looked down on black men, is because not only her history, her experience with her mother and father, and the relationship, the bitter relationship they had, and it is bitter, to the point that her mom kept her away from her dad, but also to the point where she didn't want to have anything to do with her dad. She very rarely talks about her father. I mean, at least Obama talks about his father in his book as well as his mother. She rarely talks about her father. But this is not about Kamala Harris. It's oftentimes on how women in general will look down on the men. Bad enough we got to deal with white men and white women in some cases, not all. But we have to deal with our own fabric of who we are, the black woman. See, if a man don't know how to discipline himself and believe himself, he will lean on a woman, and that woman has the ability to make or break him or mold or shape him if he don't know how to find strength within himself, and vice versa to the woman who depends on a man to give her identity. And clearly you're going to see a lot of this stuff that's going to happen here. Now I'm going to get right into this interview. It's one of the most shameful interviews, one of the most disgusting interviews. I mean, on the level of the horrible View. See, the View, you have multicolored women talking about certain subject, and we already know they're kiss-ups to the Democratic Party, and they hate the Republican Party, and anybody that's Republican they assume is racist and a bigot, not knowing that there's racists and bigots in the Democratic Party too. None of them stand on the side as an independent. But that's what you got with the View. In this situation, you got black women in general running this panel. Most of them are millionaires. Most of them are high profile. And Fox tend to give them their own show, I guess, to compete with The View. I don't know. But what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at this, and we're going to see how horrible this is. Now, fair use, Fox. Fair use, because this is a topic of discussion. I'm not showing this outright. It's not a copy. So I shouldn't be doing a copyright strike. We're going to break this down point by point and try to get through this interview. We've gotten to the point where we become so self-centered that it kills us as a people. You mean men used to hold on, we're used to trying to hold on our stance as men, and women is trying to step on us to get to the top. Not all women, not all men, but a lot of them are doing that. You got a segment that they lean more toward the women's liberation movement and women's right versus black rights, the black movement. And a lot of women actually believe the reason we have problems in this world is because of men. No, it's because of men and women. A lot of things that men do is because of women. You wonder why a man would go out there and rob and sell drugs because he got to deal with a cancerous woman and the kids that he had babies by.
Joining us now is a legendary rapper and film producer who is making headlines not only for his music, but his involvement with policy and politics. Please, everybody, welcome Ice Cube. Hello, sir.
Now, first of all, beautiful introduction. Said exactly what he's involved with. Policies. I don't think he's trying to get involved with politics, but he realized politics have to be involved in order to push these policies. If there was any other way we can do it, we'll go around it. And there are other ways, and he knows that, and he's going around it. So it's not just about policies. It's not just about politics. It's also about protesting. Protesting. And you got to protest not just from the left toward the right. You got to protest from the middle toward the left and the right. You got to protest from the middle toward the left and right. You got to pretty much detach yourself and In order to get things done for your community, you got to detach yourself from your allegiance and your security in the party and make them feel the heat and let them know I'm not aligning with you for jack. I'm not aligned to you. I'm not aligned with you. You can't count on me. I can't count on you. You can't count on me if I can't count on you. And as of right now, I can't count on you on the left and you on the right. So therefore, I'm standing in the middle as an independent. Here's my demand. If you want to count on my support, we got to count on your support first. First, F-I-R-S-T. First. Great introduction. Great introduction. Let's go. Now, this young lady who introduced Ice Cube was on Apprentice. She'd done business with Donald Trump. Remember, this is Fox Soul. We're going to hear a lot of craziness coming out of this interview.
Hey, what's up? How y'all doing?
Hey, you.
Yo, what's up? What's up, Lisa Ray? How you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you.
Good. How's everybody doing?
Now, Lisa Ray probably excited that Ice Cube mentioned her, because remember, Lisa Ray got her start on the movie Players Club, where she played a stripper, you know. Now, I don't know what's up with all these hairdos. It's amazing to me how a lot of black women want to push black women's liberation. And that's great. Push it to the moon. I'm back with you. I'm side with you. But I don't push black women dominancy over all people, just like I don't push black dominancy over all people. I push equality for blacks. I don't push dominancy. I don't push supremacy. I push equality in every area. But the point I'm seeing here is, seeing like all these pro-black women get on pretty much white-looking wigs, because we as black people normally don't have our hair looking like this unless we bought it, sold it in, and curled it up. Now look, I used to work in a beauty supply store. I used to sell all that stuff. I could tell you Outreach. I could tell you the Janet collection. I could tell you all the 1B, all black, number 1 black, number 2 dark brown, number 4. I could tell you all that. 1B 33, 1B 14. I could tell you all that. I know about the hair industry. But sisters, pro-black sisters, feel like they gotta not be natural. I'm telling sisters, look, you can put on your wigs. I don't mind that, but nothing wrong with being your natural self. Be your natural self, sister. Be your natural self. Because I hope this is not who you really are, sister.
Bless.
Good.
And we're also very appreciative of you taking the time to come talk to us here. I know everyone's trying to get a piece of you and talk to you and have you on their platform. So we definitely appreciate that. So thank you. I want to ask you just out the gate how you're doing. You know, how have you been coping with the pandemic, the civil unrest? These are, black people have always been through trying times, but it's.
Yeah.
Can I get a smile or something? Geez, Vivica Fox. You know, something about Vivica Fox, she's been through it with some men. And she used to be in a relationship with 50 Cent, and that relationship really tore her up. I don't know what 50 did. 50 must have made the leg shake, and she said, woo, whatever. But she, since then, you don't have to put on this front. You don't have to look like, ladies, you don't have to look like this to show yourself as a strong, dominant black woman. You don't have to show yourself tough, rough, and pissed off with the world. You can smile, you can be loved. To me, a strong, dominant woman can love you, smile, embrace you, and still show that she can get stuff done. Who told you not smiling, not being joyous, not being thankful and grateful? Who told you that's not the sign of a strong black woman? Who told you that was a sign of weakness? To me, being bitter and looking bitter, look at this look on her face. That is a sign of weakness. Well, let's go.
A little extra right now on top of our regular stress.
Getting different.
We got another layer on top. You know, we got 10 on 20 right now. So how are you doing?
I'm doing good. You know, the pandemic, it hit everybody and caught everybody off guard. Thank God for D Nice, who Start
Yes.
spinning them records,
I
man, and kept
know,
people
right?
just, kind of, you kept our sanity, you know what I'm saying? And then the thing with George Floyd happened,
Yes.
which shook everybody to our core. When you hear a man, scream for his mama, I think everybody in the world felt that.
Yes.
So, everything switched reels for me. And I just been on this quest trying to get us true equality, not just equality on, social issues, but economic equality, which is, just as important.
Well, let's just jump right in then, Q, because I have been, looking at some of the bites from your interview. You did an interview with Roland Martin, which
Hmm.
helped me, I'm going to say, because I will say that when I first heard that you were supporting Trump, I was like, wait a minute, what? Hold on, because you.
First of all, you have to stop listening to Roland Martin. Roland Martin is a bootlick for the white racist establishment. Roland Martin is doing whatever he can to become a top dog in media. The only time he push against the party that he support is when he's trying to shame them so he can get funding to compete with Fox News. Roland Martin want to become a juggernaut, and he'll do anything to become a platform for the Democratic Party. He's not going to be an independent platform. He'll show his independence here and there, but you got to stop watching him because everything he say and do is to make sure black people continue to suck up and kiss the behind of the Democratic Party. You got to stop watching him. He's going to lead you astray. He's not going to lead you toward the promised land for black empowerment. He's going to lead you toward black submission. Black submission to who? The political establishment, which is ran by both sides on white supremacy.
But boy, so I was like, I got a
I,
personal insight. I'm gonna
I,
call
I,
him directly
I
and
didn't say I was supporting Trump. So, yeah,
allegedly, right?
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's what I heard. That's what the bite,
Mm,
the sound
yeah.
bites. That's why people got to do their research. And I watched that interview, and I heard you break it down.
Now, folks, I'm sorry for stopping. Just look at Vivica Fox this whole interview. First of all, Vivica, you didn't have to get the fake black break background. You got money, girl. You can build you a studio, okay? All right, you got money. I mean, you can do it in your natural habitat. That is fake. You could put brick into your house, or you can get a, Now my background is a curtain. I don't want y'all to see how dirty everything in here. But she got it like that. But look at her face throughout this whole freaking interview. I don't think she smiled one time. Laugh, jovial, anything.
Why you were involved, why you met with both sides, and when you got involved, which was not just recently. And
No.
so when I said, what contract was he talking about? This contract of Black America, like, what is that? Where did it come from? I did not know. So when I think of things that I don't know, I automatically assume that a whole lot of people out there don't know. So I would want you to educate me as well. So what did make you go to the administration and speak with them?
Well, what happened was, it was a lot of yelling, a lot of people upset, a lot of reforms being put on the table during George Floyd. But I was looking around for a document that really was speaking on what's the needs in the community and what do we need across the board, not just from government, but from the private sector too. Because there's a lot of companies that are involved in our pain, and they got to pay up too. They owe us reparations as well in some shape or form. So it was nothing. I was looking around. I'm like, damn, where is the document? Where is the ask? What are we asking for as a people across the board that deals with not only police brutality, but all our needs? So I started working on it myself with, some smart people I know. We end up getting, economists involved, people like Derek Hamilton. We started to go and just
Understand this. Ice Cube got economists involved. Sandy Darity, Claude Anderson. He got economic professors involved. Economic professor drew up this contract. Ice Cube just say, hey, we need to do something. Let's get something. Let's start somewhere. I'll use my platform to promote it, but we need to get something. It's you guys that I'm going to work with to get this done, and I'm open to have other people to help get this thing done. I don't give a crap about parties. I don't give a crap about party allegiance. All I care about black people. Where did you hear that from? You know other people just like that? Exactly. That's how I am. And the only way I will support you as a political party is based on how you support this. This is the document we need. Do you support this? If you don't, support your butt up out my face. And please don't try to scare me with this guy, because I'm going to tell him the same thing. Well, you got to vote for some of us. No, I don't have to do a doggone thing. I'll vote for you. Here's the key. You want my vote? Do this. So just let you know that Ice Cube is not a dummy. Yeah, he's trying to act like, he will let you know that he's not a professional at this. He's just a guy who wants to see change. There's nothing wrong with that. And even if that guy has to lead the change, let him lead the change. Unless you're willing to take up the mantle, side with him, and be a part of it, shut up, sit down. Stop judging. What have you done? Who in your community is moving on this level? Since you got the big mouth, why don't you do something? Because clearly he's doing something.
Find the smartest minds to help try to put a document together so we can actually have something to say, damn, all this is things we need. This is so anybody black could look at our document and say, yeah, support this, support, some of the things that we have. Now, I'm not a politician, and I shouldn't be the one to have to put this thing together. We've had politicians in place for a long time, and they haven't come up with something like this. So I was surprised, but that didn't stop me. And we put that together July 1st, and we revamped it about, let me get the timeline here. We revamped it July 19th. And from then, people wanted to interview me about it. So I went on just promoting the contract with Black America, hoping to be contacted by any of the politicians saying, yo, this is a great idea. Everybody that I would show would say, oh, these are great ideas. This is common sense. This is things that should be in place already, but they're not. So I was just kind of saying, okay, we're going to
initiative.
Yeah, starting an initiative, and I'll make a long story short. I was just going up, basically saying, okay, we're going to go after the private sector. We're going to go after the banks. We're going to go after Hollywood. We're going to go after the people that we know got their hands in the cookie jar. You know what I mean? So then we started to get contacted from the Democrats on September 8th. And then we started talking to them. Mm-hmm. Then we got contacted by the Republicans. So that's when the ball started rolling then. So it's not just like I just jumped into anything. I mean, I just did the contract, and then people started to contact me.
In other words, Ice Cube saying, look, the Democrats, they knew that I had a black agenda that was better than theirs. Pretty much, that's basically what I'm saying. The Democratic Party knew I had a black agenda. They was afraid my black agenda is going to get involved, kind of water down the so-called Lift Every Voice plan for Black America that Joe Biden had, which is not a Black America plan. It's a all people, all lives matter, every color plan. I'm not saying there's not a time for that, but black people don't have to submit to that first in order to get their needs done. No, we have our own agenda. Just like any other community, we have an agenda, and you can't lump our agenda in with everybody else's, because you don't lump everybody else's agenda with ours. So we got to do something separate. He said, I tried to find somebody. I tried to look for some policies, CBC, all that crap. Nothing really to get something done. Nothing to move on. So I came up with it. And the moment the Democratic, moment mine started getting some traction and people started talking about it, that's when the Democratic Party called me. And 9 times out of 10, Democrat probably called him just to kind of cover his stuff up, shut it up, because we need people to buy into Joe Biden's, not yours, because yours may take away some votes. And they blew it off because they didn't think it would have the energy that Joe Biden's Lift Every Voice playing has. See, the only reason Joe Biden did the Lift Every Voice plan is because the grassroots in the black community kept saying no black agenda, no vote for me. You don't support what we want. Why are we going to support you? I'm not dumb. So they created one to appease to us. And they labeled it all Black American and African Americans in the front of it, but in the subtitles, in the meat of the policy, it's a policy for all minorities, including white gay men, white gay women, and white women in general. Taking away from the power of our needs. So going forward, once the Democrats moved on it and didn't do anything, the Republicans looked at it and said, hey, we'll do whatever we can. Of course they're going to do something. They're trying to hit a number of 20, they're trying to get 20% of the black vote. And look, people say, well, they lie. They lie. All you lie. Most of these politicians don't go around and keep their promise. So we just got to put it out there, at least get you on paper saying you promised you're going to do something in order to get to your behind. Oh, we supposed to believe the Democratic Party? Let me keep going. I'm sorry.
Not the other way around. I was hoping the Democrats would be all over me. But that wasn't the case. And I understand it wasn't like I was throwing a fit. I just was like, okay, we're going at the private sector. And then the Republicans contacted me. And to me, if you're speaking for black people, you should speak to whoever is in power or about to be in power.
And I think you had a statistic, you said something about there has been 7,000 black people elected, and you felt like in offices for us, and you felt like they ain't made a change. We've not come far at all with 7,000 of us in there. What are we going to do? Who is going to take this and say, okay, I'll be in the front line of this, and then get in the front line and have everybody come on board with you? Because let's be honest, you are Ice Cube and you do have a huge platform. So I would say that for me to know that you've been using your platform to be able to have an initiative like that, I think it's worth you doing the interviews that you're doing and letting everybody know and hear your voice on.
I just want to jump in.
Exactly. Nobody's coming up with a plan. Nobody's talking about my plan. My plan is available for everybody to go out there and run with it. And if nobody ain't going to run with it, I'm going to run with it. Just like me and my music. I do music and I wrote songs. And I had people offer to buy the song, but they want to play me short on the song. But I'm like, no, you're not going to play me short on something that came out of my heart, man. I'll put it out myself. Whether somebody buy it or not, at least it's out there. Pure Intimacy Volume 1. Beautiful Bobby. Go check it out. It's on Spotify now. Not trying to be the best rapper, but at least I'm getting the stuff out there. I look for somebody else to sing my song. I don't want to sing my songs. But until then, I got to go with it. And that's exactly like Ice Cube. I'm looking for somebody to take this and run with it, but I'm not waiting. I got to run with it. I'll run, and if you want to catch up with me and take the baton and go past me, fine. But I'm not stopping for you or nobody. And I like what she said there. I think you should be the one pushing it. Of course.
And say, I just don't think it's that fair to the 7,000 of black elected officials that have been in office.
Right, to say that they've done nothing.
Hold up. Why do you think it's not fair? Have you looked at the record from the 7,000 people that's been in office? There's some that have done something, but it wasn't concrete things for black people in general. Now, ladies, and even people in the comment section, tell me some of the black initiatives that these black politicians, especially in the Congressional Black College, CBC, tell me some of the policies that these 7,000 push that uplift the black community up to the standards of the white community. Tell me about some of the floor fights on the Senate floor, talking about these issues. Tell me some of the documents that they pushed and it failed in Congress. At least tell me that. Tell me about some of the black initiative, the black policies that these so-called black politicians pushed that's going to uplift black people and bring black people to the level of white people. When both blacks and white built this country, what policies have they pushed to put us on that level? Tell us, sister, since you don't think it's fair. It's very fair. It's very fair. I don't think it's fair for you to even say that. What have they done? Sure, you guys been getting a lot of opportunities. You got an opportunity with Trump, didn't you, young lady? Trump made you famous. What's her name got famous off Ice Cube? Lisa Ray. And possibly Vivica Fox. Now, this other lady I don't know much. But he's very fair to say not much got done. Not much got done. But if they became a powerful unit and had their community back them up and pushing policies that's going to support the community, then a lot would have got done. You look at Dr. King, just a reverend, went to university, a reverend, young guy, got involved with the civil rights movement, and he put political pressure on politicians, usually before a vote. He put political pressure on them, even on the bigot, the racists, to get things done for black people. He's got more done for black people than all these people who came in after him that want to attach themselves to him, including John Lewis, including James Clyburn, and all these other politicians. He's done more in his era as a reverend, using political pressure, using an agenda to get things done than these people in office. Again, I ask you the question. Name some of the major policies that either passed through the Senate and got signed by the president, or just passed through the House and the Senate, or if it failed, name me them. Then we can talk.
Yeah, because I think that is I think that's a slippery slope to walk down. Because
how is that a slippery slope to walk down? Can you name me? I wish Ice Cube could have pushed back and say, name me just 10 policies, because it should be 1,000. Name me 10 policies that the Congressional Black Caucus or these people in political position pushed to take care of the most urgent needs of the black community. And one of the most urgent needs in the black community is closing the wealth gap. And there's various ways to close the wealth gap. And have they tried to push policies to do that?
As we saw with
A lot of progress has been made.
What progress, Vivica Fox? You getting a job and making millions? What progress? You being in the upper echelon in the 1%? What progress haven't been done for black people?
It's not as simple as you get elected and bam, you can make all these changes one man.
Right.
I never
Let me let Ice Cube keep talking.
said that 7,000 people, black people, have never did anything. I said that since the 60s, there's been over 7,000 black politicians elected in prominent positions, and our situation, as far as the wealth gap, hasn't changed. We flatlined from the 60s to now. We have not gained or closed the wealth gap. So that's the major problem. I understand we got a lot of people, working hard for progress. That the facts are, it hasn't happened in the traditional way. So that's why I want to break the mold.
So I just want to say, first of all, there's this whole cancel culture that we have. First of all, ain't nobody canceling no damn Ice Cube.
Nobody said they're canceling Ice Cube. The only people that's canceling Ice Cube is probably upper echelon, elite, uppity black women. That's about the only person that's canceling. You talking about the strong, hardcore Kamala Harris supporters, the strong, hardcore Stacey Abrams supporters. And look, I'm not dumping on Stacey Abrams. I really believe she was cheated, but I believe a lot of that is her fault because she didn't call the guy out to step down. How you going to run against the person who runs the election and not tell him to step down from his position? It's a conflict of interest. So I fault her for that. But yet she worked hard to get people re-registered who got kicked off the voting roll. Kudos to her. And I hope she did that not for the party's sake, but did that for democracy's sake. Not just to get black people to vote for Democrat, but to get all people to get out and vote. That was thrown off the roll. And I think she should continue that capacity and do that nationwide. And so I applaud her. Kamala Harris, that's another story. She's done a lot of horrible things to the black community in California. The over policing and overlooking police abuse and siding with police officers and campaigning against body cams and doing what Rahm Emanuel did in California. I mean in Chicago, doing what the other brother did in Kentucky, trying to cover up for the police. And I can go on and on about Kamala Harris, but people don't want to do the research and find out about Kamala Harris. They want to fall in love with this TV version of Black Girl Magic when there's nothing but black magic going on with that lady. But I digress. Let's keep going.
Let me just say that first out the gate. This is NWA.
Thank you.
He was the first to say fuck the police, so go sit down. Nobody's canceling Ice Cube, and if you are canceling, that's fucking stupid. Second of all, I do think that it is very good that you are taking an initiative to, and I like how you say bipartisan, because that means both parties. This is for both parties. We want both parties to jump onto this.
Right.
This is not just, oh, this person, that person. We want everybody to grab a hold on to what African-American people need singularly. And I remember we talked about this on Cocktails. Remember, Lisa Ray, when you asked the question before, you were like, well, who's going to do something? Who's going to lead singularly for African Americans? Now, I do know.
Now, let's stop there. Why do we have to have a Messiah? Why do we have to, that was my issue with Bernie Sanders and people trying to get Bernie Sanders to run another 4 years, and another 4 years for president. Dude don't have that much long to live. Bernie Sanders should have went out with a bang and ran against both of these knuckleheads and stopped kissing behind, ran as an independent, and go out with a bang and look like a hero that really wanted to start a real revolution. No, he chose to punk out, ashamed to be shamed. You're a revolutionist. You got to be ashamed. You got to be ready for the shame. You got to say, bring it on. I don't give a crap whether you like me or not. I'm doing this for the people, not for you and your political party. Only for the people, my supporters. No, he turned his back on the supported his good friend Joe Biden, a bigot. You support him. Both of them signed the crime bill. They're going to get together and support them. Same people telling you, no, you don't reparation. We're not doing reparation. All this bull crap. He supported them. He wasn't a real revolutionist. So why do we feel we need a revolutionary like a Malcolm X or whatever to lead this movement, or somebody in Congress to get in front of this movement? No, the policy is the leader. See, one thing about Bernie Sanders' policy is that whether Bernie Sanders die or not, the policy is still there. The policy lives forever. The policy can be picked up by any politician. Probably get picked up by Nina Turner going forward from there. But the policy is the code. It is the tool. It is the leader, not the person pushing it. The issue is, if no matter who pushed the policy, if you're not pushing these policies, the bottom line, we ain't pushing you. He who pushed the policy will push you. And that's the way this is. He who pushed this black agenda, he who pushed the contract with Black America, he who pushes will get elected. He who do not push it will not get elected. Not by us. You can select them like they did Kamala Harris. You can select them because we didn't vote for Kamala Harris. Most of the people most people canceled Kamala Harris during the debates. Joe Biden selected her, and in turn, most people voted for Joe Biden but got Kamala Harris as a VP anyway. She wasn't elected. Joe Biden was elected. She just happened to be the horse. She just happened to be the rider on the horse to get to the destination. She won't be elected again. I tell you that. There's too many factors that will let you know that Kamala Harris will never be president. She's not Barack Obama. She don't have the story, and she don't have the chutzpah, a Jewish term, that Barack Obama got. Let me keep going.
That there have been tons of initiatives. CBC has initiatives all the time. Congressional Black Caucus, the Nation of Islam. Hey,
name me the CBC initiative that they have, Selena Johnson, that is pushing to close the wealth gap. Name the initiative and tell me, can they do that without us kissing their behind for a vote? Can they push these initiatives without uh without our supporting them as a candidate? Can they push these policies just to help Americans, just to help Black Americans? Now we know the Nation of Islam had one, but let me keep going.
Right here, national agenda. They've had an entire agenda that happened right after the Million Man March. It was presented to what's the name? The president that was in, what's his name? Clinton. It was presented to the Clinton administration. So we have tried. There has been trying going on. But one thing I do like about your initiative is that it is singular to Black people. That gap, that wealth gap is a fool, and it does need to be fixed immediately. But here's my question. I watched you on the Black Report the other day on Friday, and they asked you, hey, Q, what do you think about, when you see the Black Man March, and how does that make you feel? And you said something that was really profound that stood out to me. You said, you know what? I wish that Black people and Black men could watch this over again and get back to this, because you said, even myself, we need to get back to this type of unity, this type of connecting. And so my thing is, let's say whoever get in office, it ain't gonna matter. The initiative is set, and then it's like nothing's happening, or something is happening, or whatever, it's there. Now, well, let's say they give us all the $500 billion that we asked for.
First of all, Cube, if you're asking for 500 billion, and that was just 500 billion for a certain thing, we need more than 5 billion. The way to close the wealth gap is in the trillions. So, sister, stop the 500 billion. We're asking for trillions. Ice Cube, step your numbers up. It's trillions. Trillions this government owe. But let's say they do give us the trillions.
You honestly think, and I'm not even trying to be funny or trying to catch nobody up or nothing. I'm just asking like a real question. With the state of how our community is already broken, how we already have PTSD, how we already are not connecting already interculturally, the infrastructure of African Americans in general is just jammed up with or without money. Do you think, and what could be the process of, once we get this money, of implementing it properly into our communities and really being able to allocate it where it makes sense and matters, and what's going to be necessary for that to happen?
Well, what I said on the show about the Million Man March was the fact that it was the Million Man March, but it was a day of atonement. It was a day where we were gonna bury the hatchet with each other. It was the day when we were supposed to go back to our neighborhood kind of as new people and try to, make things better.
Right.
And, it just didn't happen the way, we all envisioned it. But that don't mean we can't start. We do need financial help in our communities, but we also we gotta make a commitment to ourselves to clean up ourselves. It do start with the person in the mirror. You can't deal with the white man out here until you deal with the white man in there. You see what I mean? So
Right.
you have to clean up. We have to clean up ourselves. We've been poisoned by this society. We've been poisoned by trying to live like the people who've had us oppressed, and what they are attracted to, we're attracted to. We got to come out of that. We got to be our own people with our own flavor, our own style, our own morals, and we got to flip it. I'm not Mr. Holy. I'm guilty of it too. So it's something we all have to start doing to clean ourselves up. But I think the key is to try to get the money in the hands of people who are doing things, who are trying to be on the right side, the progressive people, the people who are business owners, people who want to own homes, people who want to beautify their homes so it isn't just gentrified. So it's things where we can get money into responsible people's hands, and hopefully they'll hire the community to teach the community. They'll use the community to hopefully clean the community up. I also think the government has a job too. Why you use the armies just to come in and put guns on us and make sure we're not protesting? Why you don't use the armies to come fix fences and roofs and paint walls and do things to beautify the neighborhood? You know, it's like they got to rethink how government works for the people, and they're not going to do it using the same old ways. You're going to have to push them. You're going to have to find pressure points, and you're going to have to use leverage when it's time. You know,
I just got to
everybody
make a
said,
quick statement, though, Q.
go ahead.
If the administration that is in there right now hasn't done it for the past 3.5 years, what do you think is going to make them start in the next 4 years that they are given more? And
All right, and I want to start right there, Vivica Fox, with the chip on her shoulder and in her heart. The previous administration didn't do it, maybe because nobody proposed them to do it. Not saying that they still won't do it, they still ain't going to do it, but at least you got to propose that they do it. But the previous administration before that didn't do it. For 8 years, he didn't use the Army to do those things. The previous administration also used military, or may not use the military, may not use the National Guard, but they did. He allowed the police department to become like a military. He militarized the police department, gave them tanks, gave them assault weapons, gave them Army gear. Blacked it out, called it police. Can't even read the badge. Can't even see the face of who's behind the camera. That's no different from the Ku Klux Klan man hiding under the hood, Vivica. Yet at the same time, they also allowed private hitman companies to come in and attack protesters like they did in this previous 3 years. The Obama administration, the Obama-Biden administration allowed that to happen. Went over there to No Dapple and attacked the water protectors, the protesters, the Native Americans. Some of them arms got blown off. They use sub-zero water temperatures to free the blow. Instead of using the fire hydrant, they use fire hydrant instead of using the gun. They added some chemicals to the water to kind of freeze them off that land. And even in this administration coming up, they're talking about reopening the Keystone Pipeline, preparing to go against the water protectors there also, Vivica. So stop making this about Trump. And that's the problem with most of these people up here. They're so pissed off at Trump, not being pissed off at politics in general. The Trumps, the Bidens, the Obama, all of them got their crap. And I can always go into it, and I'm going to go into detail about the Obama problem on another episode. Because too many of people want to put Obama up there with Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and Marcus Garvey. No, I'm not going to let you do that. I'm not going to let you do that. And you're going to get mad at me, but don't get mad at me. Get mad at him. Because I'm going to give you facts. See, my vision for Obama changed. I worked on the Obama campaign in 2008. Didn't work in 2012. Because he turned around and didn't do nothing that he said he was going to do. And then he's going to ask for another vote. And y'all going to give it to him anyway, and he still didn't do nothing. See, I learned early. Your past will determine your future. What you do today determine your tomorrow. If you're not willing to do it today, why I'm going to believe that you're willing to do it tomorrow? Get out of my face. Well, let me keep going.
given more during the pandemic. I know you got to take a break. Hold that thought, but I just got to ask that and make that statement because you can't make them hold them all of that, and they've been there for 3.5 years. So
I ain't trying to make them do nothing. So
we
need them to do something if we're going to trust them to do it.
Hold on, guys. We got to take a quick break.
Okay.
I definitely want to talk about that. I definitely want to talk about Q. You hit on some very, very good points about the military, but this current administration is using the military to enforce their own agenda, and we want to talk about
Like the last administration didn't use the military to enforce their own agenda? Really? Because when you talk about military, you're talking about mainly the National Guard. You're not talking about the Army. You're talking about the National Guard. But believe me, every president uses the military for their own agenda. They just do it in certain levels. Now, a lot of times we think about military as just the Army, the Navy, and things like that. Military, I mean, have you ever looked up the word military? Military is just an armed unit or armed faction. Where do you think the word militia come from? So you may not be Army, Navy, Marine, or something like that, but you still can be considered a militia or a military. But let me keep going.
So let's take a quick break. A lot of gems are being dropped here. We'll be back with more Cocktails with the Queens when we return.
Cocktail with the Queens. Cocktail with the Queens. Look at Vivica's face.
Welcome back to Cocktails with the Queens. We have Ice Cube here, and we are talking about his contract with Black America and some very legit questions here. Vivica, before we went to break, you asked about...
Very legit question. Most of those questions were butt-bum questions. Come up with some real questions.
If the current administration has not done it in 3.5 years, why now is this massive push with 2 weeks before the election? I understand, Ice Cube, you've been working with this since June, July, but we're hearing about it now, so it looks really... I think convenient. A lot of Black folks...
Whose fault is that? It's not Ice Cube fault that you're not informative. It's not Ice Cube fault that you won't get out your Democratic or Republican bubble. It's not Ice Cube problem that you're not more involved with your community. It's not Ice Cube problem. That's your problem. You think it's convenient because all of a sudden it's starting to get traction at a convenient moment. And see, that's the problem with most people on social media. Oh, it's getting contraction. Man, there's been people in the Black grassroots movement been talking about this for decades. And we had to build up to a moment. And now it's starting to get momentum. You guys are freaked out, nervous. Even after the election, you're freaked out and nervous because people are now saying, we told you so. I'm going to talk about that later. It's going to be called Gotcha Beat. Gotcha be, because now you didn't hold their feet to the fire. You always talk about holding their feet to the fire after they got power instead of talking about holding their feet before they get power. I need to get you on record. I need to get a contract. I need to get a covenant with you. I need you to say not just with your mouth, but on record that you're going to do this for the Black community so we can slap you in the face with it if you don't do it. But if you wait till somebody after the election, after they got power, he have no reason to do anything for you unless he's seeking another term. But right now, the next administration got four years to tell you to kiss they behind, and they'll get to the final year to say they're going to try to do something for you, and you're going to fall for it again like we do every freaking 4 years. Now let me keep going.
Looks very, like I feel like I don't, and I know this isn't your intention, but I feel like you know how they use us all the damn time. You know what I mean?
I mean, both sides use celebrities, but check this out. The thing is this. I'm not here saying he gonna do anything, but he didn't make a promise to me. He made a campaign promise to the world. So he's on record for that. Now, we wanted Joe Biden on record. He has a plan, but I don't know if his plan really pinpoints Black people. So we want a plan that pinpoints Black people. We don't know if any of them gonna do it. But when you have a person on record as a campaign promise, you have more to go at him with because he's told the world this is what he's going to do. And if he doesn't deliver, he looks bad to everybody. Now, why hasn't dude?
Now, that's key because that's what's going on right now. It's key that you don't take the side. It's key that you don't show support until they show support for you. If they're not showing support, you don't automatically say, I'm going to support you because you're D and I don't like the R's, or because you're R and I don't like the D's. No, you show support because of your community. My community have needs, and he who support my community will get my vote. And that's from the president all the way down to city council. What have you done in my community? What have you brought to my community? What have you advocated for my community? And are you willing to lay your career, your political hopes on the line to make that happen? Most politicians are not willing to do that because all they care about is their political hopes. All they care about life in the political sphere instead of laying, no. I'd rather lay down my political career trying to help the people than kiss up your behind just to get a political position, to be on some kind of committee, no, I'm not doing that. They both. Now let me keep going. See, what Ice Cube did said was proficient. Now I got you on record. Now that you're elected and we supported you because you said you're going to support this and you support it. And if you don't do this, we're going to be on your ASK. We're going to be on your ask. Because we're going to ask you why you didn't push this, why you didn't push that. Oh, and you want another 4 years, or you want us to support your VP? Heck, she ain't been saying nothing, or he ain't been saying nothing about, they haven't been pushing. They had all this time because vice president don't do much. They overlooked the Senate. You had all this time as VP to push this. Let's say he don't push it. You supposed to be the black one. You supposed to be in tune with the black community. How come you're not pushing this? See, that's what happened when you give these people your allegiance, number one, period, before election or after election. Number one, your allegiance is killing this community. You show no allegiance to either one of them. And you tell them, if you want my support, if you want the support of this community, then the community needs you to support this first. If you don't support this first, miss me. But what about miss me? Because I'm going to tell them the same thing. I feel you in them. I feel you both. I feel you less, but the bottom line is I feel you both. So I need you to commit to this. See, I don't vote for the lesser of two evils. I don't like evil. But if you are evil and you can commit to this, then I can support you. I'm not just supporting the lesser evil. I'm supporting that evil because he said he's going to do something for this community. And I need you on record. Because if you don't do it, I'm going to be on your ask.
Done it in 3 years? I don't know. Nobody's been pressing him. Everybody's been like, he's the boogeyman, run. And nobody's been pressing him on behalf of black people because we've been just waiting for Democrats to get back in.
I do not agree with you on that statement. There has been
Now he mentioned Democrats. And now he mentioned the boogeyman. And that's what's going on with most black people have fell into this category. Oh, God, he's going to kill all of us. We're going back to slavery. He going to do us like he did the Jews. What make you think the other person want to do that? Oh, he's outright. You do realize Hitler had to ease his way into that position. It didn't happen automatically. Hitler did not outright at first start doing this. He smoothed his way into building that party like that. And let's get off Hitler, because y'all act like Hitler was the most evil man in the world, and he was one of the most evil in the world. There have been evil, sadistic men all since the foundation of this earth, killing people and genocide since the foundation of earth. You don't talk about Idi Amin, whom they claim killed a lot of people. You got to look into the history of Idi Amin and see if all that really was true, because they lie on the black leaders. They make all the black leaders look like animals, but don't say nothing about the so-called white. The only person they talk about is maybe Stalin and maybe Hitler. Man, there have been white men for hundreds and thousands of years doing genocide to people that are not white. Some of them were doing things to people who were white. Now they're mad, they're upset because he done let it fire, because majority of them fall in that category of what he just talked about, the boogeyman pushers.
A lot of people that have asked him, what about the wall? What about the kids in cages?
You, Vivica Fox, you naming stuff that has nothing to do with black people. Now that's an issue for Latinos and Hispanic or whatever you choose to be called. That is an issue with them that they need to lobby against, and we will push them, we will support them on that, but they got to support us on our stuff too. Why are you mentioning these things that have nothing to do with black community, girl?
I mean, there's a lot of things that,
I understand that.
I'm not going to give him no plus signs whatsoever.
That's why you're not capable, because you're so biased and you're so one-sided and you're so cultish that you can't think about one thing that the man did good. I can think about a lot of things that Obama did good, and I can think about a lot of things Obama didn't do good. I can find good and bad in everybody. The problem is with hypocrites and people who are one side, and what's the word you call not biased, but I can't think of the word. Anyway, I can't think of the word. These people, they can see something good and still criticize it. The person can do one thing and still criticize. Because that's what this whole point with Ice Cube is. Ice Cube has been a successful juggernaut in the entertainment industry, have contributed to the community in so many ways. And people will look at just the fact that he's a rapper and say he's not qualified to do this. I don't give him not one. Well, I give him some credit on a couple of things, not a lot. But even then, it could have been better, but I still give you credit. I'm the type of person where I'm fair and balanced. No matter, it's not about, you could be a racist bigot or all that. I'm looking at your policies, what you do. If you do a good policy, I'm going to support you. I'm going to big that policy up. Don't mean I'll support you as a candidate or a human being, but I will say great on that policy. But that don't mean that you're going to do everything great. And there could be a reason why you had to do this, but at least you did something good. Let me hurry up and get out of here. I got to go.
But check this out. I'm talking about...
Look how she looked. Look at this.
A lot of people that have asked him, what about the wall? What about the kids in cages? I mean, there's a lot of things that,
I understand that.
I'm not going to give him no plus signs whatsoever.
And that's you. You ain't got to give him no plus sign, and you can give Joe Biden, the man who did the crime bill that locked your brothers, your cousins up left and right, and Kamala Harris, if you're living in California, you got family in California that did the same thing to your people, you can give them all the credit in the world that they don't deserve. You can give Trump no credit, and he may deserve one or two. That's your choice. But that don't make everybody think like you. And you want everybody to think like you. And Ice Cube saying, look, I don't give a crap about none of that. Okay, he did all that stuff to the Latinos. Latinos need to step up and hit back at him. If you look at the reports, the Latin community is not 100% supporting a political party. They're on both sides of the aisle. They're saying he who supports our agenda will support them. The Cubans saw Trump supporting their agenda, and a lot of Cubans went and voted for Trump. A lot of Puerto Ricans saw Biden supporting their agenda, or they were just supporting out of fear. Now listen to how she get upset.
Check this out. I'm talking about
what? Bitter, angry.
Pressing him to give things to black people. These are country issues. I'm talking about black people pressing him to give things to black people.
Now, let me say this. This is a different tactic to get things done for black people. You don't have to always do it through electoral politics. But most black people think you got to get them in, you got to give them a chance to take office and all that in order to get these things done. Most things don't have to be done through electoral politics. Matter of fact, most things are done through the grassroots. And if you can get enough people to join you in that grassroots, you apply the pressure on political leaders to make the changes, or they'll fear that they won't be in politics no more. Our job is, you got your way into politics. Now you're there. This is what we want. And if you don't give it to us, you're out. Remember, we put you in office. It's like Trump fussing the reporter out. Don't you dare talk to the president like that. I'm the president. Don't you dare. You're lightweight. I'm the president. Bro, you ain't going to be president for long, number one. Number two, remember, you were elected. You were chosen by a certain fragment of society. Another fragment of society didn't choose you, so they don't have to respect you if you don't respect them. You were elected.
Everybody treated him like the boogeyman. Nobody would go and press him to give things to black people. The stuff that he's doing to the rest of the country, I understand that, but We raggedy. We got to get our.
But hold
we
on.
have to.
Chill.
We have to.
Listen,
we gotta go.
Look, they going off. Look at Vivica Fox. She act like this man is her man. See, I see why 50 Cent left her behind. You ain't going. This is the woman that most black men don't want to be around. And if it's a man act like this, then you got to understand why no woman want to be around with you. Because you're going to act like you know it all. You act like you know it all, and you're biased. You're one-sided. It's your way or the highway. This is that man plan. This is that man policy. He the one came up with the plan. Where's yours? You got a high profile. Why you didn't come up with something? What is your idea to close the wealth gap? What is your idea to bring black needs to the forefront of everybody else's need? Because we keep getting overlooked. What are you doing? At least he's doing something. And at least you got something that everybody can rally around, including you. What are you doing instead of you being critical of who he went to? In the game of getting things done for black people, there is no side. We had to pressure Lyndon Baines Johnson to bend to our will. And behind Lyndon Baines Johnson, we're talking about Martin Luther King like a dog. You're talking about black people like a dog. Yet we still got him to bend the knee. And that's what Ice Cube talking about. Miss Lady, go read up on your history and stop being bitter because 50 Cent kick you to the curb.
We have to press any president that ends up winning. We have to press, or it's not going to work. We can't just press one side.
He says when we do press them that the other people are fine people.
That was not no pressing. Are you freaking kidding me, Vivica Fox? That was not pressing. He is talking about, that was a question asked in the press. Black people didn't pressure him in that situation. That ain't got nothing to do with how he think. He could think all he wants that there's fine people on both sides. That ain't got nothing to do with this black agenda. That's his own personal thought. Ain't got nothing to do with the black agenda, but you're going to bring that in as if it's a valid point for him telling us that we shouldn't go to both sides. We shouldn't go to anybody, everybody, no matter who holds the position.
I mean, is that right? I mean, and
look,
he won't denounce the people that hurt us and suppress us.
You could denounce people that hurt you and oppress you, and they still won't do nothing for you. I'd rather you not denounce and put the political pressure on you to get something done versus the person who denounce all day, act like they're your friend all day, and still ain't going to do nothing for you. I look at Barack Obama, how he came out eloquently and, look at, we got to come together. Pookie, pull your pants up, did all that beautiful perpendicular talk and still didn't do nothing for black people, Vivica. Eric Holder, the Attorney General, still didn't do much for black people. Loretta Lynch still didn't do much for black people. And see, that's the point. Neither one of these people are doing anything for you. So we got to step outside of these parties and stop trying to act like we love these people and say we love our people. And therefore, our people have some needs and we want to make sure they get them. And the way we're going to do them is tell you either you're going to support our agenda or we're not supporting you. This lady right here.
And and then the policeman had his neck on somebody's neck for 9 minutes. He never support them.
I'm not here to fight about what he did, what he didn't do. Is he a good white man? Is he a bad white man? To me, they pretty much all the same. So now,
I don't agree with that.
With that said,
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with.
Can you let the man clear up what he's saying? Because they pretty much all the same. In policies and positions, they have done no policies to lift up the black community. Matter of fact, they did policies to damage the black community. Joe Biden worked with Orrin Hatch and even, of all people, the biggest, most prominent racist in Capitol Hill during that time, Strom Thurmond, to help push the crime bill, which Bernie Sanders and half the black CBC supported that was in office during that time, including James Clyburn. And I understand crime was high during that time, and we need to put a lockdown on crime, but it wasn't going on everywhere in the world, in the United States. New York, yeah. LA, yeah. Maybe Atlanta, yeah. Maybe parts of Miami, yeah. But it wasn't going on everywhere. And even then, they used that as an excuse to beat on black people, to lock black people up and keep them in jail for a long period of time. Also, they can cater and serve the corporations, which they're still doing today. That's what Kamala Harris did with her prisoners. Outsourced them out to corporations, including firefighters. So he is right on that point.
I don't know. I used to be.
Look. I know we've had all kind of presidents, and our situation hasn't changed.
Right.
So that's why I said they're pretty much all the same when it comes to a president and dealing with our situation.
So let me. I gotta ask this question. Because you're on this show with the cocktails with the queens, and there's a reason for that. It wasn't to have you defend or not defend Donald Trump. It was about. I care about what's in this contract with Black America for women, and it's not. We're not mentioned at all in the contract with Black America. And I want to know.
Lord, here we go. We're not mentioned in the contract for Black America. Neither are the men. It's called a contract with Black America, which means it's an agenda for black men and black women. Why you got to bring up the fact that there's no women mentioned in the contract for Black America? The men are not even mentioned in the contract for Black America because it's a contract for Black America, including men, women, and children. And even those who got black blood in them. That may not be 100% black. They may be Native American. They may be from some other country, but they still got black blood in them. And they mainly come from the grassroots. So why you got to go there, sister? It's always the women empowerment movement has to be in everything, which I am for women in empowerment, but this is a contract to empower both black men and black women. See, the problem I got with some of these issues is a lot of women will support the women's empowerment or the women's feminine movement above the black movement. I'm not saying don't support it, don't be a part of it, but when you put that over the black, you're black. See, at the end of the day, the cops don't arrest people because you're a woman. A lot of times they still mess with you because you black. And y'all could be sitting on this panel high and mighty, black as night. And yes, you're women. 9 times out of 10, the police are not going to harass you because you're a woman. It's because you're a black woman. So when somebody come out with something to deal with black issues, understand it's not just going to be dealing with black men issues. It's to deal with black men issue, black women issue, black trans issue. It doesn't matter. It's about black. So to criticize this man because he don't have something in it for women is also to criticize because he probably don't have something in for black trans or black gays. This is a black agenda. At the end of the day, you're black. So stop trying. This is the part that really gets me. Stop trying to. Don't do this. Don't do this. Understand, if you read it, which now it looked like none of you read it. If you read it, it's about you. It's about your children. It's about me. And if any men group talking about we need to have something for men up in here, bruh, get out of that. This is a policy driven documentation to serve black people. We're not serving people of all color. Black people. Now you want to make this about a gender issue when it should be a black people issue.
I mean, when you mention black people, you mentioning black women, so don't count yourself out.
No, that's not true.
That's like administration say that when they
black people is not black women.
Black
women are not included in black people.
No,
now understand, they're trying to use this topic. Well, that's no different from saying colored people or all people. You got to understand, that's why we separating this. That's the reason why we separating it. This is agenda. If you want to come up with an agenda for black women, go for it. Now, Ice Cube left this thing open for the grassroots to develop. He had Sandy Darity get involved with this thing. He had Claude Anderson, one of the most proficient black economists in the world today, that knows exactly what we need to do and talked about it, get involved with this policy. Different professors from black universities and even from, standard universities are involved in this. You got political leaders, you got people, you got activists that's involved with this. And that's why a lot of activist organizations are jealous because of this and want to crap on this. Because they're promoting all lives matter, and Cuba's saying, no, you go do that, but this is black. I'm gonna keep it black, and it's not gonna be filtered. I'm not gonna let political parties come in and take over this like they done other movements and end up killing them. You ain't doing that. This is gonna be grass fed.
That's like when the president says minorities, then he's including black people.
And that's why I said whenever somebody talk about minorities, black people need to correct them and say, you don't put me in that bunch because I'm not a minority. The only reason I'm a minority in this country is because you've been crafty about killing us off. Whether it's through inoculations, going into the military, or whether it's through some dummy hospital tests or whatever, or you shooting abortion or whatever. You find ways to get rid of us because you knew we were populating in a rapid rate that if you didn't find some way to stop us, we would have been the majority. So I would never let nobody include black people in the majority. I mean, in the minority. We are a majority. We may be the second majority, and the only reason we're the second majority is because white society has found some way to filter us off. And we bit into it. We fell for it. People go into war and they get involved with different chemicals. Majority of black people were in the forefronts of all these wars, trying to fight for equality, thinking that's the right way to go in order to get this country to recognize us by fighting in their armies. And who did they put in forefront mostly? Us. Who was behind the scenes in the tent strategizing? Them. The nerve gases and the different gases in Vietnam, who did that affect the most, that sterilized black men the most? It was black men, of course. The inoculations that we got as we joined the army, because I've gotten inoculations before, you don't know what these people are putting in your arms. Every time you go to the doctor's office and they give you some kind of, you don't know what they're doing. So stop. You're not, anytime black people, anytime somebody call you a minority, you tell them, I'm not a minority, bro. I'm a majority. They just found some way to make us a minority, but we're really the majority. They did a genocide, a silent genocide on black people, and black people need to wake up and realize that that's exactly what they did. And those are the subtle ways to do it, not talking about the outright ways they did it, throwing us in pits in the thousands and killing us and burying us that they don't want to talk about in U.S. history. But let me keep going.
But we all know that that's not the case. Black women have specific needs that are not also being met. And we also feel that there should be some things that are specific.
All right, so she said black women have specific needs that are not being met. And so are black men. So we come together as a unit, black men and women, put no needs in the black agenda and have the United States address these needs concerning black men, black women. Even, look, if you want to go that route, black kids have specific needs. So in this document, we're not separating black men, black women, and black kids. We're lumping it all together, saying black people in general are having these needs. And we can go down in subtitles and subjects and talk about those needs. Because Trump didn't do it with his platinum plan, and Biden didn't do it with his plan for black lift their voice. He didn't address the specific needs of black people. But yet we put them in office in the 90s. In this document, we're not separating any of it. We're all one together, and we could talk about each needs that each one have, but we all will support you in those needs. But tell me, ladies, name some of the needs.
To us in our plight as well. And
I understand that.
I feel like as a black man, you can lead.
No.
I feel like
I just offered y'all to write a section up for it.
Now, for you ladies up here popping your gums, trying to make this black man look like he's a miniature nothing, when this black man has done more than all four of you combined. And it's not about him being a black man. It's about him being a smart black person. This man got over $160 million net worth. Vivica, your net worth, I think last time I looked, $6 million. And you can put all of you together and he still have a bigger network than y'all. But y'all want to criticize this man for doing something for black people. And because he's not taking party sides. This man is trying to let you know that there's more than one way to get things done for black people. And it's not always through party politics. It's through the grassroots putting the heat on people that's in party politics. It's not getting elected all the time. Now, he just said, since y'all talking, I'm going to open it up for you guys to give us some ideas since you're yapping your mouth. And now I'm glad he did that. You're running your mouth. You complaining. How about coming up with some solutions? It's open for you to write something for black women. I don't want to bring no parties in this. I want you black people to get outside of your parties and you write down what the community needs for black people. See, a lot of you guys are not even living in the community no more. A lot of you are detached. Some of you done got your white men and a moved, and nothing wrong with that, but some of you got your white men and you moved to a white neighborhood and you live in white. Nothing wrong. Look, I'm not saying do you, but I say don't forget where you came from, though. And a lot of black men, you've done that. You've gotten rich and you got your white wife and you're going to live in white. And look, nothing wrong with living in plush neighborhoods. You made it. But don't forget where you came from. That's what I'm saying. Ice Cube realized, he just said it earlier. Look, I've been guilty of this. I've been guilty of falling into their culture and going for what they consider success instead of considering what's success for me and my community. I've been guilty of it, and you guys probably are guilty of it. You're just not going to admit it. Now, my whole thing is, nothing wrong. If you fall in love, like Kamala Harris got her white husband, if you fall in love, great. There's no, I don't believe in color barriers. If somebody's going to treat you right and treat you the way you're supposed to be treated. Now, some of you want too much. And when you don't get it, you want to get all Vivica Foxish. Because that's clearly what she's going through. Bitterness. You don't get what you want out of a man, and you get bitter to all men. Hey, bro, ain't got nothing to do with that, brother. Sister, smile. She have not smiled at all on this whole panel. She not have came up with a good point on this whole panel. She haven't congratulated him on one thing. The rest of the ladies have. The rest of the ladies say you got a great point. She haven't said you got a great point at all. I'm almost done, man.
I just said I don't mind if you guys help us. If you guys help us write a section. No, I've been open to all kind of.
Now she smiles. Now she smiled when he said, look, you can help write a section. You know why she smiled? Because some people feel like I got to have some kind of power. Because if I don't, I feel left out. Me, I don't want. I just signed the thing. And I'm holding it up to every politician. The few bullet points. And I'm still going over it. We haven't gotten into bullet point 2. We dealt with bullet point number 1. I'm going to do this just like I did Joe Biden's plan, just like I did Trump plan. I break it down. And I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I use wisdom. Not just common sense, wisdom. So he can give this platform, but we need some women that we need some really genuine hearts, not some power hungry, got to always be right about everything. We need some real humble hearts writing this agenda. And it's one thing I respect about Ice Cube is he's being humble about this. I don't want to be in the forefront. I'm only in the forefront because I had no choice. I do want other people to lead this thing, but we got to understand where this thing started from. I decided to do something about it and ask people to join me. Let me keep going.
Experts in putting this together. It wasn't just me. we dealt with experts in all fields of this contract with Black America. So we're willing to deal with experts in the section when it comes to women. So that's no problem.
Okay,
I'll help you write it. I'll help you write it.
Say you do get the money. How soon do you think your plan is going to go into effect?
Now she's going into semantics. Say if you do get this money, how long do you think this plan will go into effect? Baby, start with supporting it first. Start there before you start going into semantics of what if it do get accepted? How fast are you gonna get this money out to people? It's not always about money. There's an engine in this that has to be built, and you signing this is the first freaking what you call lug nut, whatever. Sign it at first. Stop talking about all this once it's done. No, you join it. You sign it. You talking about what it's not doing? How about you get involved and at least sign it and ask them what can you do to make this a beautiful thing for Black women in general. From the single mother with 5 kids all the way to the Hollywood movie star. Because you two people don't have the same needs. You got $4 million. They barely hanging on with $400 a month. Since you're talking about women needs.
When we start seeing the benefits.
I'm not getting 1/4. Okay,
But,
this is
no,
something
no,
he's
no, no, no,
promising.
I said
This is something he's promising to the country, and he's gonna have to implement it in a way he feel that can fit.
Okay,
Just
but
like
can
Joe
I just
Biden's
ask
plan.
though, what would you see this plan doing for the first year for us if he's reelected?
I'm not part of the administration.
Well,
I'm here for Black people. I'm here
Vivica-
to talk to
Vivica-
both administrations about.
Look, guys, Vivica Fox coming up with some of the dumbest questions. At least, I mean, I'm no fan of, I was a fan of Whoopi Goldberg back in the day, but this Whoopi Goldberg right now, man, she sometimes you're like, sit your butt down. You're nobody's mother and stop trying to be. Vivica Fox is on the, I don't know where she's at right this. All the other ladies were being cordial, respectful. They act with integrity, and she just act as if Ice Cube was her man and he did her wrong. Maybe because they accuse Ice Cube and 50 Cent for supporting Trump when 50 Cent only supported his tax policies, and he did talk about I'd rather vote for somebody who's not. Now that's a different deal, but Ice Cube never was on that level. Ice Cube never supported. He said, I think both of you, no matter who's in power, you need to be doing something for Black people, and I'm going to put you in a position to do something for Black people, whether you like it or not. So I'm coming up with a document, and I'm going to hit you in the face with it, and if you reject it, then we got something to reject you on. Vivica Fox act like this man was in a 10-year relationship with her, had 5 kids, and now he's done totally left him with a white woman and had 5 other kids with a white woman, and he's supporting them and not her kids. I would be mad too. But Vivica, this man is not married to you. He's been married to the same woman since before NWA. Right after NWA. Been same woman since 93. Beautiful kids. Successful kids. What's going on with you?
The contract with Black America. The Platinum Plan is not mine. Didn't name it. Didn't put it together. All I did was meet about the contract with Black America. They added some things, and I'm willing to meet with both sides. They can add some things or not. It's fine.
And then, they ran off immediately and did statements that you're basically a Republican now in support of that.
They ran off and made a statement made a statement that, look, people can always run off in the media and make a statement. You got to make sure whether it's facts or not. When I heard Ice Cube, they said about Ice Cube, in my stomach I knew it wasn't right. So I went and investigated and researched it and found out it's nothing that he said. Why you can't do the same thing? You got the money. You got the time. I ain't got all that. You can dig in to find out whether what he said was true. To separate that, Lisa Ray did it. You can do it. You got to paint this man out to be a Republican, and you got to make this a Republican and Democrat. He's saying you can paint me Republican and Democrat all you want. I'm neither one of you. And that's the problem with most of the people in this society, is because they're showing these allegiance to political parties instead of allegiance to their people. And they think the only way I show allegiance to my people is by showing allegiance to a political party who's not really truly showing allegiance to the people. Getting people elected in office of color is not showing true allegiance to the people. It's the policies that you push that really affect the people that shows allegiance to the people. They got you on false allegiance. Electing black official is a false allegiance. Heck, the Republicans elect black officials. What they do for you determine whether they shows their allegiance to you. And if they're not showing any allegiance to you, why are you showing allegiance to them? The way I stand as an independent is I'm not showing neither one of you guys allegiance. There's certain things I want. There's certain things that my community needs. He who pushes it will get my vote. I don't give a crap who you are.
That's on them. That ain't on me.
Okay.
That's on them.
Exactly.
I just want to make sure.
Exactly. He said that's on them. That's not on me.
We
You
just
can't
want
talk at the same time.
We can't all talk at the same time. I got to ask a question, y'all.
Please.
With over 20,000 lies told to the American people by this president, I'm a former friend of Donald Trump. I work with them. I made money with him. Personally, it would have served me better to still stay on his side. Why would you believe after he gets black votes, his whole goal from 3 years ago was to siphon 20% of black male votes to cross over to vote?
Over 20,000 lies they say Trump has told. Only in this election we started counting lies from people in office. They all lie. Now it's the game of who lies the most. They all lie. They all lie. It don't matter. Even Obama lied on some things. They all lie. That's a political thing. They all lie. Only in this election we started making the count. To me, 20,000 don't matter to me. You're a liar, man. And look, you can lie. People lie. One of the reasons why people lie is because they fear the truth will cause a bad relationship with the person they're lying to. That's all. Lie. The bottom line of lie is fear. I got to get out of here, boy. Let me hurry up. I talk too much. Let me hurry up.
Support him. Why would we believe that he has, once he gets reelected, he will follow through with any of these plans, as opposed to Joe Biden and Kamala, who would be in their first term and be more indebted to do the right thing to get reelected for a second term?
Well, Trump was indebted to do the right thing and he didn't do it. So what make you think Biden is going to do it because he got elected too, and Harris? Have you ever took the time out to check out some of them doozies of Joe Biden's? Have you ever took the time out to talk about those lies of Kamala Harris? Well, let's get off Kamala Harris. Talk about Joe Biden. I did a whole video on the lies. His first presidency was built on lies to the point that he had to step down for lying so much because they caught him in too many lies. So don't go there with this Trump lies, Kamala Harris, and they're not gonna lie. They're gonna lie. They lied. They all lie. Problem is, you counted Trump and don't count theirs. Okay, and I get it. Okay, you don't want to make your candidate look bad. You don't want to talk about the lies they made. I will, because I'm fair and balanced. I don't give a crap. I don't take sides. I believe in taking over, not taking sides. What make you think they're going to tell the truth?
Why should we believe that Donald Trump would actually follow through? That's a legit question that I have.
He ain't followed through.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You're gonna have to figure that out because I'm not sure if he's gonna do it or not. I'm not sure what any of these guys are gonna do.
Facts.
All I know is we got to push our agenda, no matter who's in there. And in a perfect world, the Biden campaign would have brought me in and we would have really talked about the plan, and they would have did, great things to their plans to specifically target black people, but they chose not to, and that's fine. But the thing is, I'm not a supporter of neither one of them.
No, I'm saying
and that's the problem with you all. He said, I'm not a supporter of neither one of them. That's the way I feel. I only support you based on your track record of what you did for us. Okay? You can promise, but if you promise that you're going to do something for us, I need it on documentation, because I'm going to slap you in the face with it if you don't do it. The problem with most of you on this panel is you take a side. Ice Cube is in the position of, no, I'm about taking over both of these parties. Black people need to be dominating both of these parties. We need to bring both of them to their knees. Dr. King brought them to their knees. Old bigot President and Lyndon Johnson brought them to the knees. Now, most of the people in this country is because of the pressure that Lyndon B. Johnson got, not only from Dr. King and the black grassroots. It was Dr. King and the black grassroots that opened up the door for all these other people to come into this country, yet they're getting more they're getting more perks than those who've been here since day one. Problem is, you guys taking sides, and you hate the fact that there are black people like me and Q who don't take sides. And we're telling you the reason why we haven't gotten anything is because you picking a side. You need to stop picking a side and stop picking the side of political parties and pick the side of your community and force these political parties, even the one that you favor, to bend the knee. And if they don't bend the knee, then why are you supporting them?
What's the problem? I'm an independent person.
You'll have a conversation with the administration if Biden wins and Kamala wins. It's not too late, so I don't think it's fair to dismiss what they are. They're not in power yet. So they really
the same old excuse. They're not in power yet. They're already letting you know before they got in power they're not going to do nothing for you. The sign is on the wall, man. The red flags are up. They're already letting you know. Look at the cabinet that Joe's picking. He made his chief of staff the guy who helped him push that crime bill and helped him develop the crime bill. The chief of staff. It wasn't Simone Sanders, who I'm no fan of. It wasn't somebody black. He made his chief of staff another white racist. Oh, you shocked that I said that this guy is a racist? Man, Joe Biden's a racist. He's one of them low-key, undercover, on the down low racists. And the guy who he elected is racist. And the proof is not in what they say. The proof is in what they do. I'm more concerned about what you do than what you say. You can call me a nigga in my face. You can tell me you hate me. But if you don't do anything to me, I'm okay. I can deal with that. But for you to tell me that you love me and you got my back, but yet you plan on breaking into my house and killing my whole entire family, you the person that I'm worried about. Rob, you putting Joe Biden on that level? I don't trust nobody with a pen and pad until I see their record.
Hey, they really can't say and promise things because they're not yet in power. We're not even in power in Congress.
Lame excuse.
You can't make campaign promises.
Yeah, see that's the point. Stop using they're not in position yet. It's not about you getting the position, getting in the seat. It's about me holding your feet to the fire before you get a seat. And if I started seeing you backing away from that before you get in the seat of power, even after you get in the seat of power, I got something to come back and slap you in the face with.
They have. That's what the plan
makes the promise when they're in office.
Well, they put out the Lift Every Voice Can Sing plan. That is their promise to America and to the world. That is their promise. So the thing is, you can always promise the people who put you in power something more than what you just came up with. You got to, especially when you know there's so much more that needs to be done. And he knows that it's so much that falls short in that plan when it comes to actually helping black people, minority, people of color, diversity. All those are trick words, and black people don't necessarily get a tenth of that. So we have to really be smart.
And Ice Cube, right. Diversity, people of color, all that stuff, trick words. Black people, you got to stop falling for the trick bag. Until they say something specifically for black, like they do with the Asian community. Kamala Harris is already pushing policies for the Asian community. strictly for the Asian community. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris already said that they're going to sign into law the Equality Act, which is a policy strictly for gays. But when it comes to something for blacks,
and really make sure that that money is touching the hands of the people who have really struggled in this country for hundreds of years.
I have a question. You said that the Biden campaign didn't reach out to you, and well, you said
they did reach out, but
they
didn't want to. They said we'll hook up after the election.
And to be fair, they're not the power in party right now. I want to ask you this:
it don't matter.
This is true because I had heard from one of my sources that you were contacted for this Zoom call with Kamala Harris, with D.L. Hughley, Snoop Dogg, you, Killer Mike. They were all on the call, and you were not on the call, and that was to speak. That was in September, and why? So you said they didn't reach out. You said the Democrats didn't reach out, but Kamala Harris's folks reached out to you and wanted you to be on the Zoom call because they thought your voice was important. Why did you not participate? Choose to not participate.
They didn't think his voice was important. They want to do exactly what you're doing up here, criticize that man playing. But you guys, funny. Your voice is important. Well, how come you mocking and criticizing everything I said if my voice is important? My voice is important to you if you can get me on code with your agenda, but my voice is not important when I talk about my policy. You want to try to shame something I'm doing? Are you freaking kidding me? Get out of here with that appeasing to me, kissing my behind bull crap. I'm not falling for that. I'm so glad Ice Cube don't fall for this bull crap. Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody, let me keep going.
Well, we had spent, a lot of people time putting a contract with Black America together. And, I just thought that getting on a Zoom call with 12 other entertainers, all shooting what they believe needs to be done, to me wasn't going to be productive. And I was also, because my lawyer, Matt Johnson, has a connection with Kamala Harris, and I was promised a call that I never received. So, that's why I didn't.
In other words, she blew me off. My lawyer knows her. My lawyer set something up with her with just me and her. And what I got, it should be on that level where I need to talk to her. I don't want my stuff on a level where we just going to talk about black issues and you never get to me at all, number one, and never get to the agenda that I'm pushing, and you never tell the people to rally around. The people who you got on the show actually criticized me for the Trump administration taking one policy and putting it in their policy. And I didn't even tell them to do that. I mean, if they want to do that, that's on them. I didn't tell them. I didn't support it. That's their plan. They ain't got nothing to do with mine. But yeah, y'all want to put me in the boat with him, and you want to look at my policy as if my policies was down with him. That's all y'all was going to do on this call. So, of course, I'm not going to sit there and set mine up to be decapitated by you cronies. No. My lawyer knows Harris. They got a good relationship, and if Harris want to talk to me about my policy, she can call me. Put me on a panel with Killer Mike and D.L. Hughley and all that kind of stuff. These are guys who only talk the talk but don't walk the walk. I'm actually putting something to paper, slapping your politicians in the face with it, and asking you to do something with it or get out our face. What these guys want to do, they want to appease to a political party, and I'm saying appease to the black community.
I feel like I wanted to be on that Zoom call. So I feel like our plan is so broad that you can't talk about it with 12 other people who have nothing to do with it.
Right.
And these are a lot of things that really need to get done. So I wanted to have a serious conversation and not just a rally cry kind of conversation.
But you said you would talk to anyone that was willing to help. You said you were.
I am, but
but they got to come to them. They have to come to say, Q, we want to help. You don't go to them and ask anybody, look, would you please help me with this? No. They could go to him. He is going to be talking with the most prominent person, second most prominent person in America. So no, you got to know, you got to feel your way into who's really serious about business and who's not. And most of these guys not. They just all talk.
I just said that they said they were going to call me direct, and I never got that call. So when you hear that, you're waiting for that call. It never came.
So no kind of way don't work if it's not the way that you started.
That's not what the man said. That man said there is a way it can work. Now, I did not say no kind of way will not work other than mine. I'm saying there's many ways it'll work, but that ain't one. Stop trying to put words in this man's mouth.
Got it.
Well, I want to get things done. I don't want to just spin my wheels, talk to people who can't really make it happen. So I didn't want to just. I didn't want to just. Well,
the vice presidential candidate.
When I had listen, because I had the conversations. When I had the Zoom call with the DNC, the Democratic Party, we was on the call for probably over 45 minutes, and we never even got to the contract with Black America. We never went through any of the points that needs to be dealt with when it comes to the situation in this country. No one else has a plan that deals with as many issues that this administration or any administration could fix if they had the political will. And you have to give them the political will. And that's what's being done. I didn't want to put anybody on blast for that, but since they saying I didn't jump on the call, it's because I was promised a call where we can actually deal with this in a serious manner. And it wasn't just what I considered a rally call.
But I feel like that actually could have been okay, because you could have led the call and had supporters on listening to what it was that you're.
What you don't understand is they didn't try to get Ice Cube on the call where he can lead the call and rally people around his agenda. No, they didn't do that. The first time the DNC had Ice Cube on the call, they didn't even let him talk. They didn't let him talk about none of that stuff. Then they promised, okay, Cube, you didn't get a chance to talk. We're going to have Kamala Harris give you a personal call so you could talk about it with her. That never happened. So now when they invite him to another call that she may be on, now you want to say, no, after you done burnt me twice, why you think I'm going to get on there a third time? I got to show you how serious I take this. If I keep following you around like a monkey trying to get your approval, then I'm not serious. I'm giving you opportunity to push this. If you don't want to push this, then that's your behind. I'm still going to push this. I'd rather you guys get in with this, but if you don't, I'm not going to be moved by what you do. I want you to be behind this, but I can't be led by a political party. I only can be led by the grassroots. And what you want this man to do is to submit to a party and say the party is going to rally around your agenda. The point is, whether the party rally around the agenda or not, I still got to push this. It don't matter who in power, I still got to push this. It doesn't matter 5, 10 years, I'm still pushing this.
Trying to get them to be able to help rally with the initiative for that.
I had been doing press about the contract with Black America outside of that.
Yeah, so why you think a phone call is going to get these people to rally behind him when he done been on every network, just about every call, every Zoom, every YouTube channel talking about this? If you wanted to rally with them behind it, you could have did it before that Zoom call.
So I was using my press to promote the contract, not just to them dudes on the call, but to all of America, to all of Black America. That's where my thing is. So I wasn't on the call, but that don't mean we couldn't have a call. So that's what happened. And I don't feel like I made a mistake for not being on the call.
I will tell you, we have to wrap the show. We're way over, but I just want to say, Cube, I hear what you're saying, but I just want you to know as
But is a badge of doubt. Anytime somebody say, I hear what you're saying, but they just canceled everything that they were just saying. They could talk about how great you are, you're awesome, you're beautiful, you're incredible, but as soon as they say but, whatever they say after is going to cancel all that other stuff. But let's hear it.
Black women, how we would feel with, there's no mention specifically of Black women in the contract with Black America. They do have
to stand on top of that. I just told you can write that up.
He said, why you keep going back to there's nothing in the contract for Black women? There's nothing in the contract for Black women, men, or Black kids. Why you got to separate this thing? Stop.
It's not our,
and Q, you don't have. And Q, listen, Q, you don't have to kiss their behind. You don't have to say, well, let's just get some. Just say, no, this is going to be for black women, black men, and black kids. It's for black people. If you want to take a part in it, come take a part in it. Ain't no be separating. That's the problem now. They trying to separate us. And you letting them. No, if you want to get in on this deal, you can put in the policy some specific needs for black women. But we're not going to do a black contract for black women. We're not going to do a black contract for black men or black kids. It's a contract for black America in general. And it will include the needs of women, include the needs of kids, include the needs of men. But one is not going to be acting like this better than the other, because that's what they want.
We all black, so we all
right. We all black.
Meeting up with Jared Kushner and Donald Trump about this.
Why you keep saying we're not meeting up with Jared Kushner and Donald Trump with that? He ain't meeting with none of them. Stop. And you got the nerves to mention Jared Kushner and Donald Trump when you work for that man. You did business with that man. Who are you to sit there and criticize him? Like my grandma said, hush your mouth.
You are. So you can't say, well, if you don't like it, add to it. You're out here. You took that job. You took that position to keep this. So like, don't say you.
I'll write up the black woman's.
That man can meet with whoever he wants. I'm so sick and tired of you people trying to shame a man because he decided to see if a bigot can push his policy. If you're gonna do that with Martin Luther King. I don't give a crap. I don't care who you can. I can't change you from being a bigot. But if you're in a position where I can have some leverage over you to make you do something, no matter how much of a bigot you are, then I'm gonna do that. Dr. King was successful in bringing a bigot to his knees. But you don't dump on him. If this man got something that can bring a bigot to his knees, and make no mistake, and I'm going to say this again, make no mistake. You got the low-key bigot and the upfront bigot. You got the closet bigot and the upfront bigot. And at the end of the day, I'm telling people, the person that you elect in this election, you only got, there's only two prominent. They've done bigot stuff. Bigotry, and a bigot is not known by just the words he speak. He's known about the actions the moves he make. And don't you dare think that guy on the other side haven't done bigoted things and don't have bigotry in him too. Well, you got all these black people, man. Bigots love to hide behind black people. It's called a blackface. You ever heard what a blackface is? Bigots always like to hide behind black people. Trump is notorious for doing that. Why do you think Biden don't do that? Hiding behind black people to hide their bigotry. You can't hide your bigotry, bruh. Your record shows your bigotry. Not with me. You may fool a lot of my other black people, but you ain't fooling me, bruh. I seen your bigot record. I heard your bigot mouth. I seen your bigoted policies, and I've seen your bigoted words that you made toward the black community. I don't want to take my kids to no jungle and blah, blah, blah. Get out of here with that mess. How you proudly work with Eastland and Orrin Hatch and no bigot, get out of here. I'm almost done, man. And I'm on the side of Q. Y'all better wake up and find out. You wake out, tell you, man, I don't know what to say. I understand you guys figured you got to do whatever you can to get Trump out, and you were successful. The bottom line is you still got a person in the White House that will be taking over that has written some of the most bigoted policies that were meant to be used to do right things. At least we were taught that. We were told that it was meant to do right by our community when they actually came up with that policy to do more harm to our community than help. That's what you call smart bigot policies, where you can fool people to think we're doing you good when we're actually doing you harm. It's the drink the Kool-Aid scenario of Jim Jones.
Part of the contract for you.
Yeah, we got 200
how many words do y'all want it to be? The thing is, you guys are the experts, but here we go again. You just want to talk. Nobody.
That's right. Get on the queue. Here she is, Vivica Fox. I'm like, yeah, give everybody 500,000, but we want an extra 200. What's in it for me? What's in it for me?
Want to help me, just want to talk. But y'all the experts on black women, so why won't y'all help me? See, that's the problem.
I can tell you why.
Ice Cube say you want to talk about it. You want to yip your mouth, yippy yappy. I'm giving you opportunity to do something with it, but you're not saying that you want to help me. Now, they're saying they're going to help them. I'm saying, Cube, look, don't you dare let them make it a separate thing. They can add women policies in there that's going to help black women, but it can't be separate from what you do with black children, from what you do with black men. It got to be it got to be all together, still a black agenda. It can't be a black agenda for women, black agenda for men, black agenda for kids. It got to be just a black agenda or a contract with Black America that helps out women, that helps out our children, that helps out our men.
We don't trust the Republican Party, so anyway.
The initiatives have already been set.
I wish, listen, you guys, we are way over. We're way over. I wish we would have you for more time because I feel like you have a lot to say, Ice Cube, and you're very influential, and we appreciate this. And I hope we can respectfully debate. Yeah, because all y'all did was try to crap on that man, all because Trump took interest in at least one of his policies. You want to dump on that man like he's a Trump. And that's why I got with a lot of black people. A lot of black people figure if you're not supporting this person, you're supporting, they say dumb stuff. Well, a no vote for Joe is a vote for Trump. Bruh, stop that. In order for you to win an election, you got to tally votes. They have to be counted. Well, if we can't count on your vote, then he could win. Well, then tell your boy to come get it. He can have it. Come get it. That's the whole point of this contract. You want some support, you come get it. But I'm not going to just give you I'm not a slut voter. I'm not just going to give it up without something in exchange. At least a prostitute want money. I don't care if it's $50. $50 for 30 minutes. At least they want something. You don't even want to give yourself the value of a prostitute. You're giving out free votes. Oh, James Clyburn gave out a free freaking vote without asking for something in exchange for black people. I don't want nothing. I got a video to me. I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing. He's sitting up there lying on his butt. Joe Biden helped his daughter get on 3 different corporate boards. I'm gonna talk about that. I don't want nothing. Yes, he do. He wanted something for his family and he got it. The same thing Biden did with his son Hunter. Because of Joe Biden helping out the Clyburns, Clyburn's was able to secure Clyburn's daughter was able to secure 3 positions on 3 corporations, just sitting there with a little input once or twice a year, and she's collecting millions. And now they want to put her in a position. Now he want her to have a position in Joe's White House. But he gonna sit there. I don't want nothing. You can want something for your family, but we can't want something for our family? Get out of here. Guys, I'm done. I'm sorry this went long. In order for things to get done for your community, you, as the people from the community, have to take a different position. Showing your allegiance to this party and that person ain't never getting nothing done. As a husband, if my wife showing me all this kind of allegiance, and it's easy for me to take her for granted. It's easy. No matter what I do, she's still going to do this for me. And that's the problem with a lot of men and a lot of women. No matter what I do, she ain't going nowhere. No matter what he do, he ain't going nowhere. I can say ain't nothing better than this. Ain't nothing better than this. What, he going to go lead this? Yeah. But you got, even in a relationship, you got to do whatever you can to work to keep that person happy. You still got to put in the work. I've been married twice. Now I look at myself and where I went wrong. I used to look at where they went wrong, but I look at myself where I went wrong. You got to put in the work. You got to show your allegiance to the people who showing allegiance to you. And that's what's happening on both parties. Republican and Democrats are not showing you allegiance. Let me tell you something. Putting black faces in positions of power is not showing allegiance to the black community. Because you can put those same black people and they won't show no allegiance to the black community. You show your allegiance to our community by doing something for the community.
tangible things for the community. The Asians don't want nothing less. The gay community don't want nothing less. I mean, the LGBTQ, they don't want nothing less. They want you to show your allegiance through policies that's going to lift them up. And you can see it. Joe said the first 100 days, I'm not going to do something for black people. No! I'm going to pass this Equality Act for gay people. I'm going to push DACA. First 100 days. First policy that Obama pushed, first thing he made executive passing the law was the Lilly Ledbetter Act. Policy that helped majority white women, but some black women, but majority white women. Yet it was black men and black women that put them in office. And how long are you going to continue to take this? I'm done. You can continue with this foolishness you want to. I'm done. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to keep going on for the rest of my life just slut voting. Keep giving you the vote and you ain't doing nothing. You going to do something for my community or you ain't getting a vote for me. I'm going to hold your feet to the fire before you get a support. And that goes from the president all the way down to local councilman. Well, how much money you putting into this community? How much do you plan on putting in this community? How much did you did last year when you were the councilman? What are you going to do? What are you going to do for that community center over there? What are you going to do for what are you going to do? What have you done? Don't tell me what you're going to do. This is what I want you to do. If you can't even try that, try your butt up out my face. And don't come try to fearmonger me into voting for you because it ain't going to work. Problem is you ain't got balls. You got fearmongered. And so far, there's nothing mentioned on what you're going to do for black people in the 100 days. And you should be pissed about that.